Did you know that lightning never strikes the same spot twice? And your hair and your fingernails continue to grow after you die. Humans also only use 10% of their brains. The color red makes bulls angry. A mother bird will reject its baby if it's been touched by humans. Cracking your knuckles gives you arthritis. It takes 7 years to digest swallowed gum. And eating too much chocolate will give you acne. Did you also know that everything I just said wasn't true? Those are myths that people still believe about science today, and we've heard all of these things so many times that we just assume that they've got to be true. The same could be said for myths about religion and science. Now here's the top 3 myths people still believe today about religion and science. Number 1, science and religion are incompatible. Now we can start here by asking, what exactly is the conflict between religion and science? What exactly is the conflict with science given the how and religion given the who? Why couldn't science be a description of the natural laws and processes that God orchestrated and put in place when he created the world? When people say that there's a conflict between science and religion, they probably have something specific in mind, like virgins can't have babies, or you can't turn water into wine, and so on. So the claim really ends up being, because religion describes miracles, therefore science and religion must be at odds. And this leads to our next myth. Number 2, science says that miracles don't happen. Okay, now first off, science deals with reputable and measurable events that happen naturally, okay? A miracle by definition would be an isolated or a singular event in which it would be impossible for that thing to happen naturally. So are miracles impossible or not? Well, that really just depends on if God exists or not. So if God exists and he created this entire universe out of nothing, then any miracle, no matter how extreme it sounds, would just be child's play. Some people like to ridicule people that believe in miracles as if they believe that miracles are happening naturally by natural processes. But miracles would only be ridiculous if God did not exist. So that's really the question that matters here. The people who are ridiculing miracles are usually just going off of their previously conceived assumption that God does not exist. But virtually everyone who believes in miracles believes in God. So ridiculing miracles is just a big waste of time that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you want people to believe that miracles are impossible or ridiculous, your first step is to show them that God does not exist. And you can start by asking yourself, is it possible that atheism is false? If the answer is yes, then it's possible that miracles can and do happen. And number 3, all truth comes from science. Now first off, science is a wonderful tool and probably the best tool that we have for understanding the natural world. But the world is multifaceted. Scientific explanations aren't the only type of explanations about the world. Now let me explain. Now I want you to think about buying your wife a diamond wedding ring. Okay, now we can analyze the ring and the diamond scientifically. Now we can see that the diamond is a mineral made out of carbon atoms at high pressures inside of the Earth's crust. We can learn all of the physical facts about how the diamond is formed and also how the ring is formed. But are those the only explanations that are needed to explain the value of the diamond ring? Well, of course not. There's psychological explanations to why you gave your wife the ring. There's moral explanations to why you gave your wife the ring. There's aesthetic truths of why the ring is beautiful, and so on. And more importantly, none of these facts are in competition or in conflict with the scientific facts. Instead, science just represents some of these explanations, but not all of them. In the same way, even if the physical sciences can explain all of the scientific facts about the world, it can't explain the world itself. If the universe had an absolute beginning, and by universe I mean all of space, all of time, all of matter, if that had an absolute beginning, then it would actually be impossible for science to explain why the universe came to exist out of nothing. The reason why is because prior to the moment that the universe began to exist, there would be nothing there for the physical sciences to study. So the explanation for why the universe began to exist would have to go beyond the explanations that science alone could provide. And this is just one example of how religion and science can complement each other to give a full explanation of the world. So the next time that someone says that science and religion are incompatible, or that science has proved that miracles can't happen, or that all truth comes from science, what are you going to say? What do you mean?